people have to be present with information. And I think paying attention is being present. And I think it's a skill. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. But if you're not present, then you can't hear the information because your mind is in the predictable future or the familiar past, right? So that's why online courses for me are just something that I never would ever do, because I don't want to compete with a person's attention, because it's so much easier to forget this information than to remember it, right? But if you can get a community of people together, have them understand the information, and then sooner or later, there's an emergent consciousness that takes place in the collective. And this is what we discovered. One of the things that was so amazing in just looking at the data is you get people from all over the world that come to these events. And you have everybody with their own very specific genotype, and genes make proteins, right? So everybody has their own unique gene expression and their own genotype. But at the end of 7 days, about 80% is expressing the same genes and making the same proteins. That means that the tribe, the collective, there's an emergent consciousness where people are biologically evolving together, right? So something happens that's intangible when you get a group of people together and they start overcoming themselves. And they sit with themselves long enough to be curious about what's on the other side of that belief. Instead of saying, I quit and get up and get my cell phone or call somebody or go eat something or go do something, you're going to sit there and you're going to just become really conscious that you're not going to give up on you. You're going to go past that point. And I think giving up on ourselves becomes a habit, right? So allow the person to get beyond, sit long enough that they come up against that emptiness or that pain or that sadness. And instead of getting up and saying, I'm doing my meditation wrong, I understand I'm actually doing it right. This is part of the transformation process. Okay, now that I'm feeling this emotion, let me just lower the volume to this emotion, get back into the present moment. And now you're taming the animal, right?
Yeah.
You're taming the animal self. And it takes an enormous amount of energy, an enormous amount of awareness to do that. So if you give people the information and you give them numerous opportunities to overcome themselves, and numerous opportunities to connect, sooner or later, this emergent consciousness will begin to form. And just like infection spreads amongst the community and creates disease, all of a sudden you see health and wealth and abundance and freedom become as infectious as disease. And then that's what we see at the end of 7 days. There is an emergent consciousness that's reflected in people's biology. And genetically, they look like they're living in a new life.